the Academy of Interactive Arts Sciences has reviewed the games of Far owners at this year's DICE Awards show, with God of War, Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2 leading the pack for 2019's event. Sony Santa Monica's God of War has been nominated across 12 categories, the most nominations for this year's award candidates, including Outstanding Achievement in Animation, Art Direction, Character, Sound Design, and Technical Achievement. Spider-Man trails that with 11 nominations in many of those same categories. All in all, 56 games have been nominated across 23 different categories, including Game of the Year nominees God of War, Into the Breach, Marvel Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Return of the Obra Dinn. Winners in each category are set to be announced at the DICE Awards show on February 13th, while DICE members will start the voting process to determine this year's winners on January 11th. In addition to the Game Focused Awards, this year's DICE Awards will also see 343 industries born near us inducted into the DICE Hall of Fame, an honor that sees her recognized alongside past inductees like Todd Howard, Hideo Kojima, and Leslie Benzies. A small selection of this year's nominees can be found just below, while the full list is already up over on the DICE website. Niantic announced its Beyond Reality Developer Contest earlier today, and is encouraging artists to enter and create a game using the studio as a real-world platform for a chance at a prize pool of more than $1 million. This could be a good opportunity for developers interested in using a new tool to create projects, and the chance at earning a stipend and showing their work at a demo day hosted by Niantic. As explained in a blog post, the studio is seeking a team composition of at least 5 developers with experience in Unity and Java server development. In terms of product, the possibilities are endless. Our definition of games is pretty expansive, so if you have an idea that bridges gaming and other areas like physical activity, social, travel or shopping, please feel free to submit. The post reads: a select group of 10 teams will earn a stipend and access to the Niantic real-world platform, and finalists will work for a 3-month period, with the goal of showing off their work at a demo day in San Francisco. In addition to regular guidance and discussion from the Niantic engineering team, finalists will be brought to the San Francisco Bay Area to meet with executives and lay the groundwork for the work to come. Interested developers are encouraged to apply through Niantic's contest site and field any further questions to that email protected. This post that originates from the site Narrative Construction contains no spoilers. But if you hold a belief that some designers are mysterious and that their games are magic, I would advise thinking twice before deciding to read the post. The title, Putting into Play, is inspired by the term mise en scène, which means putting into the scene, or put on stage. The term had its origin in theater, and was later picked up by film scholars as to have a way of referring to the practice of directing, planning and controlling the elements for the desired effect on a stage or in a frame of a film. Since the term isn't established in games, but where the concept could provide an overlook of the stylish elements that are to be organized and arranged in the creation of a film, my intention is not to put a new term into play. What I will put into play are the thoughts that precede the choice of elements that are to become the parts of the desired form of an engaging and dynamic game system. This isn't the first time in propelling thoughts as mean to show how the initial thoughts matter to the construction of a concept. But what differs punting into play, from the farmer 24 posts, where I have used propellers, radiators, grandmothers, contract killers, Cinderella's shoe, and even Walter White's underwear, as a mean to describe the narrative, from a cognitive perspective in construction of an experience, is that I will, from now, leave the old analogies. The cause is due to a 7th-grade model of causal thinking, Gretton First, Lombard, 2017, that explains how our thinking and understanding works. As to be more precise, it shows what is going on inside the head, which make us act and react. So from now on, due to the shift in approach, if you would like hands-on advice regarding game-specific elements associated with the narrative, according to how the roles and responsibilities are currently sectioned on an organizational level, in the industry, on writing plot summaries, quests, narrative branched choices and conversation systems, I recommend reading the writer and narrative designer Alexander Frey's blog here, on Gamasutra here, to explain what I mean by putting a thought into play, and how the initial thought matters to what is to become a game. I will take an example from an interview with the writer Dan Hauser, from 2010. Link to the interview is here. When he describes the initial thoughts that preceded the making of the Wild West open-world game Red Dead Redemption 2010, developed by Rockstar Studios, the core idea of the game to make a fast-paced shooting game with the sensibilities of a fighting game was very interesting, and was done really well. But we love open-world games, and in finishing Red Dead Revolver, we also fell in love with the Wild West. The main thing we wanted to keep and expand upon from Red Dead Revolver was the core sensibilities of the gunplay, which we all really loved. The rest, we wanted to start over and make a game that was vast and epic in scope. Since Red Dead Redemption 2 has recently been released, one can see how the initial thoughts that were put into play 8 years ago have evolved. From the old concept Red Dead Revolver, from 2004, with gunplay as its core mechanic, the thoughts to make a game that was vast and epic in scope has reached a new level. What this means is that Hauser and his team has given the open world game vast and epic in scope a new meaning. And for you who haven't played the games, the new meaning that has been given to the second game was not only to make the world map bigger. What the team did was to move into the details of the game by letting their thoughts give depth to as many objects as possible, giving each a unique mechanic, which created an even more dynamic world compared to the first that met undo epic in scope. Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar Games. To understand how our thinking works when taking off from a thought towards the desired outcome, I'm going to take help from the 7th-grade model of reasoning, which is based on the evolution of causal cognition, and where causal cognition is described by Gretton First and Lombard, 2017. A. To predict outcomes based on observations. B. To affect and control events in the world around us. And C. Ultimately, to predict causes from effects, even if the causes are not perceivable. Since the grades in the model distinguish with an increased level how the causal thinking of the human work, our thinking, and where the first grades only involve the perception of agency, unless we don't want to explore the agency from Dan Hauser's motor commands when pressing the key that makes the computer start. I will jump the first grade and give you a glimpse of the second. Before we are moving on to the more intriguing grades, the illustrations and descriptions that will be shown are from the post, a short guide to the 7th-grade model, a link to post that go to the origin of our thinking started long before the computer age, which explains the theme. and where the headers defining the grades are from the publication. Tracking the evolution of causal cognition in humans. Gretton Firth, Lombard.
2017
As I have reserved the right as an artist to see how the model can illuminate the intuitive thinking in the making of games. In the case of research I refer to, read the publication, which link can be found at the end of the post. This grade involves 2 individuals who take turns in performing a similar action. I understand that your action causes an effect, because it gives the same result as my action. Gretton Firth, Lombard.
2017 P 3
If we return to Dalhousie, the second grade would be as if Hauser, from seeing a colleague pressing the key on the computer, would learn, in the same way as the cavemen learned from each other cracking eggs, how to start a computer, if knowing that our will to understand is constantly on, which cognitively make us perceive what others do related to our own action. An example of a game where the second grade of reasoning is involved is the online game Journey.